Good afternoon or good morning. Sad Sangat Astrology here with another report of this time, the Libra new moon happening October 6, 2021 at 13 degrees and 25 minutes of Libra. Here in the central time of the United States, it happens at 6:05 and I would like to speak of the main aspects that new moon makes, and just also the effect or the impact that it will have over the next month, and in fact over the next 6 months. And I will explain why and show you the chart. So if you like what you hear in my videos, I encourage you to visit my social media, but mainly what I am going to say about this lunation in particular is that I started doing my daily transits in my blog here in green. This is the address for my blog. It's called satsangat.blogspot.com. So that's the reason why I'm saying to go there for the daily transits is because I have been writing about the building blocks to this new moon, meaning that all those aspects for the last week are still active in some form, shape, or form during the new moon. And even though they already happened, but they have, as I said, they are building blocks to this new moon. And it's important to know that, that they are also part of this lunation, even though I am not going to make this video too long and explain all the aspects as I used to do. So I encourage you to go there. Also, here is my contact information in case you like reading. But I also wanted to share with you that I have a whole astrology course in YouTube for any who would like to purchase the course. You can also purchase the classes individually. So you just send me an email with your interest, your questions, information. I can even send you the syllabus for it. So it's very comprehensive, even though it's the first stage of the astrology learning, but it's very comprehensive, and I go really deep into helping you understand how to integrate all the elements that you learn. So now, without any more comments, I would like to share the new moon chart. And let me see if I can do the whole enter full screen. So you can see it really big, and it's very visual. So because this is a great lunation, it's so complex and powerful, right? First of all, I always would like to point out that this is mainly air. As you see, it has 8 points of air. So it is very social, is very relational. So you will be focusing on relationships and social life. So everything that is social interactions, connections, communications will be highlighted by this new moon. Mercury is also in Libra, even though it is 7 degrees apart. It is considered somewhat conjunction, especially because it's retrograde and applying to the new moon. So you have the Libra, Mercury, who is the ruler of Gemini, the other air sign is in Libra, and we have the involvement as well with Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius. If you notice, the air signs have a double symbol, two pieces in the Libra, symbolizing the balance, right? And there are two dishes in the balance. So in Gemini has the two lines, and Aquarius has the two waves. So this talks about the duality of the air sign. In society, we cannot relate to someone else if there is no someone else, right? So that's why these air signs require the other in order for us to have an interaction, right? And also this chart is pretty cardinal, meaning that there are important radical changes, right? It is in a cardinal sign, the cardinal sign of Libra, and it has aspects to and I would explain that the whole monthly cycle of this lunation involves the cardinal signs of Capricorn and Cancer. And I'll explain some more later on. But to get started, I would like to specifically talk about this conjunction at 13 degrees 25 minutes of Libra in almost exact conjunction with Mars. So I already talked about this, but it's very important to keep in mind that we have 3 cycles in this lunation. One is the new moon, right? The moon starts a new cycle in Libra, and the whole cycle of the moon will be infused by the Libra sign, the Libra symbols, the Libra significations, meaning relationships, agreements, resolution of conflicts, debates, even contracts and legal papers. The other cycle that is getting started is Mars and the Sun. This cycle starts a couple of days before and it lasts a couple of days after. So it takes about 3 or 4 days for this conjunction. And then we will have also the Mars Moon cycle. So there are 3 cycles, and if you want, we will have a 4th cycle, which is the Mercury is retrograde, as I said, coming back towards this lunation, but also they are coming together with the Sun. The Sun is going towards Mercury and Mercury towards the Sun. So Mercury is under the rays of the Sun as well. And what happens is that is the new cycle for Mercury as well. So it's very important to consider that having all these almost 4 cycles, the conjunction of Mercury and the Sun happens a few days later. I didn't note the date exactly, but it's a few days later. I think mid-month or something. But it's important to consider that this new moon will be infused. It will be like when you brew something and you make a tea, for example. You're doing a chamomile tea, right? So you put your bag in the hot water and you infuse the water with the chamomile, right? Well, this is the same. This new moon will be infused with all those 4 cycles, and the moon will carry the flavor, if you want, of these other planets with it for the whole monthly cycle. And in fact, I will adventure the idea that this new moon in Libra is bringing this flavor towards the full moon in Libra that will happen in the month of April next year, 2022. And I will explain some more later about that. Because there is another planet involved in this configuration. So what happens is that Mars starts with the sun in this new moon, a new 2-year cycle. So which means that Mars will be also infused with whatever it started at this new moon for 2 years, right? So we can count on Mars having this energy of conflict, of uneasiness as well. Mars in Libra is not very comfortable because Mars is impetus, is impulsive. It wants to act. It's actually the ruler of the opposite sign in Libra. And Mars wants to do things, but in Libra, he has to think about another person, right? Or the interests of others. So Mars is not comfortable there because of that reason. So he needs to compromise, to give in, to involve instead of acting, right, fire. No, he needs to start conversations. Libra, an air sign. So Mars will be dedicated to debates, arguments, conversations and disputes, maybe, because that's how Mars acts in this air sign, trying to come up to an agreement of some sort, right? So Mars is not full swing. He cannot do whatever he wants as usual. So he needs to consider the needs, the desires of others. And this will, as I said, will flavor the 2-year cycle that Mars is starting now with the sun. And now, for the moon, that will be the same thing, the moon with Mars, right? The whole cycle of the moon will be impregnated with this impulsiveness and this need to this need, emotional need to make agreements or to resolve conflicts, and the moon is very agitated, right? Mars is a fire, a ball of fire, right? And the moon is all water. So what happens is that there's a lot of vapor, hot vapor, right? And it's steaming, and it's not very comfortable for the moon either. Plus the sun that is completely erasing the vision of the moon, right? We don't see the moon at this moment. So all the emotions are subdued, even though there's this anxiety and this want to, it feels frustrating emotionally, because the moon cannot really come up with those strong emotions that Mars is instilling in her. So so it's going to be a new moon of hot air, I would say, at least. So then we also have a few days later the Mercury cycle starting with the sun, but Mercury will also cross Mars. So at some point the conversations will get really, really hot and really impulsive conversations, aggressive, and it could be offensive, and you may be you may be prone to attack verbally the other person, or addressing a certain situation, right? So it is a long cycle. and of conflict resolution, hopefully, right? Because it's going to be very hot. It's this Mercury Mars will be the hotline, the phone line that is the hotline for issues that are really boiling. So, but the cycle of the moon this month will make the first quarter square in Capricorn. And if you see with this lunation, we have Mercury who just got the square to Pluto a few days ago. You can see the dates, the exact dates in my daily transits in my blog, Google blog. So, but a few days ago, like 2-3 days before, Mercury was squared Pluto, and there was suspicious thinking. It was secret dealings, and it was a very dark space for the mind to be a few days ago. And it's barely separating from that square, but it's still operational. It's just 3 or 4 degrees apart from the square. So Mercury is squaring Pluto still, and you can count on the whole cycle to be your mind be dwelling in suspicion and maybe secret dealings and such. And conversations that may be in behind the scene or behind the back of another person, and criticism, gossip, and such. So that energy can become nasty at the first quarter square. When the moon comes to the first quarter square, it will conjoin Pluto and will be squaring Mars and the Sun. So I think the Sun will be square first, and then Mars. So this quarter square, Sun square Pluto and the moon can really be super, super intense. Continuing with the theme that the new moon started right now. So then we will have the full moon, and that will be in Aries at the last few degrees of Aries. I think it's 28 or 26. Don't remember exactly, but it is conjunct Eris and square Pluto. So, and plus the Sun will also be with Mars. So this month of October will be explosive for relationships and conflicts, right? And what more explosive and conflictive than full moon in the axis of Aries and Libra, right? The me and you axis, where you are trying to not be so egotistic and give room for the other person to be part of your relationship, but you really don't want to give in. And so this has everything, all the elements to be an explosive full moon. But that's not all. So last but not least, the third quarter square will be at the end of Cancer, opposing Pluto again. So and if we say that it will be between the end of Cancer and the beginning of Leo, it will be opposing Pluto, and right a few hours after it will be opposing Saturn. So I don't even want to think about this month of October in terms of the emotional upheaval and changes. It's cardinal. So it's going to be a lot of changes, radical changes. So we will talk more in my dailies in my blog. So I hope you follow me there. You can subscribe also to my blog. It will be interesting to follow through the whole month. So as I said, this Mercury square Pluto will make your mind very suspicious, and it's not very good to do business transactions, to do trade or make important decisions or agreements. You know, it could be danger in travel. You know, short distance travel. Mercury also represents your siblings. So you may have clashes and power struggles with your siblings. And there could be also environmental hazards that can affect your health, right? Especially Mercury is your hands, your legs, and arms, but also your lungs. So very attentive to your health. Make sure that you are very wise in choosing your food, where you eat, especially because this could happen if you eat out a lot, whatever you eat and the supplements that you take and such. So, and it also, the Mercury square Pluto also gives you worries, a lot of worries, especially about environmental problems or political problems. You know, after all, Pluto is in Capricorn. Political problems and financial problems, because Pluto is also finances and taxes and debt and loans and all that. So, and so as I said, concerns mental brewing about global problems, especially financial, right? That is very hot at the moment. So in the United States, the Congress is trying to make an agreement about a very, very, I would say, monumental bill, the budget, and that's very representative of what is happening in this new moon. So we're starting a new cycle, financial cycle for the United States. And it's a very delicate situation in the context of the USA Pluto return. I hope that you watch my series on the USA Pluto return. I give you a lot of information there to think about what may come. So it's a very delicate time for the United States, to say the least. So then if you think about, I was saying about the starting of the cycle of Mars and the Sun. If you think the previous 2-year cycle started in Virgo, and it was about September 2nd, 2019. And if you go back in memory lane, you remember that the COVID-19, that's why it's called 19, because it started in 2019. And we don't have a precise date, but it's in between the period of September and December, somewhere there. So there are different dates that come and go, and we don't really know. China has made every effort to erase everything in history. But we know that the conjunction of Mars and the Sun that started in 2019 brought the health debacle for the whole world. So hopefully this new Mars cycle in Libra doesn't bring war, but because it is, after all, in the axis of war, Aries and Libra, and it talks about agitation between two parties. As I said, air signs are dual. They require two opposite factions, two opposite issues to fight about, right? So there is going to be a lot of discordance in relationships, a lot of conflicts in diplomatic conflicts between countries, legal issues concerning the pros and the cons, right? Those who are pro-abortion against abortion, those who are pro-environment against the environment, those who are pro this and pro and con that. So those who are, for example, pro control of the police, and those who say, no, we need to free the police to do whatever it needs to be done, and all that. Oh, abortion. What else was the subject in the air? Well, there is immigration, pro-immigration, against immigration, and for example, in the debate about the budget for the United States, it is pro-spending and increasing the credit line, and against it. So, and then there is the Republicans and Democrats, and in many countries of the world, it is this polarization that has been exacerbated in social media, and how people get news without much discrimination. I mean, without checking, fact checking. And so the social media has exacerbated this polarization of people, those who are pro and those who are con. So this is air. This is the air quality in astrology, right? We need two factions to fight against each other. So, as I said, this new moon may be very well the exacerbation of any conflict around the world. And it is unfortunate, but it could be the East against the West. It could be anything against anything, right? White against blacks. I mean, two parties. There are. I heard that in Spain also there is a two-party politics, and in other places as well. Where people are really confronting each other on issues. Oh, the vaccines, right? Those who are pro and those who are con, and so this confrontation that has been very stubborn. We also have this Saturn and Uranus square in fixed signs, the new and the old, the innovation and the tradition, etc. So it's also Taurus is nature, respect for nature, and Aquarius is all about social life and communications, internet, and technology and science, right? And they are clashing against each other. So what we discovered is that we have the soup ready to boil. It's unfortunate, but it's like that. And not only that, but this new moon, it is barely separating from the opposition to Chiron. I talked in my blog, in my daily transits, a few days ago, when the Sun and Mars and even Mercury opposed Chiron in separate installments, that you can read more deeply about what those oppositions mean. Mercury, Mars, and the Sun have already opposed Chiron. And think about it, Mars is the ruler of this Chiron in Aries. So Mars as an actor in this new moon is very important in the opposition to Chiron. So we can expect that in this duality, this polarization of the masses, there will be some hurt, right? It could be the wounded warrior represented by Chiron in Aries, or it could be wounded people and even casualties because, for example, if there are protests, they will be opposed by either authorities or who knows, right? So there probably, those conflicts will probably generate casualties, hurt, and many injuries. Could be physical because of Chiron in Aries is very physical, right? But it could also be hurts of other kinds of hurts of identity. People could suffer because of their identity, be it cultural, be it religious, be it the national identity, or whatever it is. So these clashes could affect people in their identity, because they can suffer because of who they are, or who they identify with. And what else I wanted to say? So see, Mars was previously squaring Saturn, so it was kind of blocked, but it has moved away now from that square to Saturn. No square. Well, it has been in square some time ago, but no, the trine to Saturn, which makes a very efficient, a very controlled actions. But now it's separating from that trine, so it's kind of not under the influence of Saturn anymore. The other element that I wanted to discuss is Venus, which is the ruler of Libra. And Libra in Venus is in Scorpio. There is a mutual reception with Mars, saying that they are kind of helping each other in their condolences. but Venus is very close to the south node of the moon. So everything Venusian starts as Venus approaches, and once Venus conjoins the south node, anything represented by Venus, relationships and finances, specifically your desires, your wishes, they will be tempered by the spiritual nature of the south node, and there might be losses as well. So you can count on having financial losses, relationship losses. So be very careful of what you decide how you decide to use this new moon with Mars, right? Because it could be very detrimental. But if you are in a rut with a relationship and you've been thinking of why do I stay with this relationship? Why do I have this friend? Or why do I keep fighting with my mother or my father or my neighbor, whoever it is? So it could be a good time to let go. It could be a good time to release the attachment to the conflict, first of all, and to the person if necessary, right? If the person doesn't deserve your presence or your friendship or your love anymore, and you have proven that, well, it's a good time to use this Mars impulse to end that relationship. And see, Venus has been opposing Uranus. So probably a few days ago, you have felt that the jolt, of Uranus, and plus Venus rules Uranus because it's in Taurus, right? So you might have felt this jolt, this anxiety, this need to shake the relationships and or shake out your financial situation in some way. So, and it has been very unpredictable and unconventional, to say the least, the things that have happened. And Uranus here is at 1356, exactly quincunx, the new moon, specifically more closer to Mars, quincunx. So a quincunx is a combination of a square and a sextile, right? So there is a conflict and there is an opportunity to resolve the conflict. And let me tell you, Uranus in Taurus is not that impulsive and active, and no, it brews underneath the earth, you know, underneath that bowl, because Taurus is so stable and doesn't want to move only by nature, right? When nature is ripe, Taurus moves. Well, Uranus brews underneath the earth like a volcano. No? We have seen many volcanoes erupt lately, and it's because Uranus brews the pressure, you know, the anxiety, the impulse, the electricity, and the hot, the heat underneath, and to the point that there is, of course, there is some point where there is no resistance anymore, and boof, it explodes. So Uranus in Taurus acts a lot like a volcano. And I think that the opposition Venus-Uranus has stirred up not only the magma under the earth, but also the financial situation around the world. Wherever you are in the world, you probably are seeing a great inflation, right? Prices going up. You go to the store and the prices are higher than yesterday. And there are some countries that are really under the water already with this inflation. So the financial situation is really hot, and I think it will be very affected by this new moon and the whole cycle. As I said, not only the next month, which is the usual cycle, but also it will carry this flavor of conflict and power struggles in relationships and in finances throughout the whole semester until April, when we have the full moon in Libra, which, by the way, is also square Pluto. Okay, so with that, I will let you go. And I hope that you have enough ideas to brew some more. And I really am grateful for your attention and for following me. And I hope you subscribe to my channel so you support my work. And I'm very happy to have you. And I hope and I look forward to your emails and your comments in the description box. You will find all the contacts. So make comments below the video and I will answer your questions if you have any. So thank you so much for watching, and I wish you the best for this moon cycle and everything that is coming. Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.